It is 11 at night, the office should be empty, and a single desk lamp clicks on like a private confession. Maybe this feeling you keep calling burnout is not burnout at all. Maybe you are exhausted because the goals driving you were borrowed first, then mistaken for your own ambition. Some goals come from LinkedIn, some from your parents, and some just sound ambitious because everyone nods when you say them. So the tiredness is not from chasing too much. It is from chasing things you never consciously chose. In a full open office, everyone keeps typing, except one person who just stares at the screen, completely still. For the last decade, career advice has swung back and forth like a pendulum between two loud extremes. On one side is hustle culture, grind harder, sleep less, and treat constant output like proof of worth. On the other side is quiet quitting. Detach, do the bare minimum, and protect yourself by withholding effort. Put them side by side, and both feel like viral scripts, polished, repeatable, and strangely impersonal. Neither option feels sustainable, because both sound like advice written neatly for somebody else's life, not yours. And here's the part almost nobody says out loud. These opposite extremes secretly share the exact same assumption. They both assume you already know what you truly want. They only disagree about how hard you should chase it. So imagine a whiteboard line with hustle on one end and quiet quit on the other, then a circle outside it. That circle outside the argument is the third option, and it has a name: soft ambition. Some trend reporting frames soft ambition as a recalibration, a broader cultural shift, not a retreat from meaningful work. But the phrase sounds suspicious at first. It can sound like settling or quietly giving up before you begin. It is not giving up. In fact, soft ambition is harder than hustle because it takes away the comfort of moving on autopilot. Hustle culture gives you an easy escape. Just work more and never ask whether the target itself is even right. Quiet quitting offers its own escape hatch. Detach, protect your energy, and never ask what kind of work would genuinely fulfill you. Soft ambition refuses both escapes and asks the question, hustle culture and quiet quitting both carefully avoid, what do I actually want? That question lands quietly, almost privately, like something you can only answer with a pen in your hand. If that feels strangely hard, it is not because you are lazy, indecisive, or ungrateful. There's a real reason. Most of what feels like ambition was never fully chosen. It arrived already shaped, already approved, already waiting for your loyalty. Psychology has a name for this: introjection. When other people's values sink in so deeply, they start feeling like your own. You may think you want the promotion, when really you absorbed your manager's idea of what a good trajectory looks like. Family sacrifice can become invisible pressure, making your career feel less like self-direction and more like repaying a debt. Culture piles on too, measuring adulthood through title, salary, square footage, and whether your timeline matches everyone else's. A proud graduation smile, an approving review, a glowing notification, each can quietly train you to mistake approval for purpose. So maybe you are not ambitious in the way you thought. Maybe you are loyal to expectations you never explicitly agreed to. That kind of loyalty can look productive from the outside, while quietly draining satisfaction on the inside, one milestone at a time. The difference between burnout and satisfaction often comes down to one thing: does the goal belong to you or not? External validation can boost you briefly, but over time, the line turns downward if approval is the only thing feeding effort. And this confusion is not some private flaw. Workplace reporting now shows that career disorientation has become a broad, visible pattern. Workers feel disconnected from leadership, uneasy about AI, and worn down by layoffs that keep returning in a rolling rhythm. But the sharpest finding is more personal. Instability is showing up in how people understand their own career path. The problem is not just external risk. People increasingly do not know what all this effort is even supposed to lead toward. And the people suffering most are often not underachievers. They are the rule followers who did exactly what they were told. They hit the milestones, checked every box, and still arrived somewhere polished and successful that feels like someone else's house. Picture the elegant apartment, the beautiful view, the life that photographs perfectly, yet feels like you are renting someone else's success. Soft ambition is not wanting less. It is wanting with more honesty, so your effort belongs to your actual life. It starts with an audit. Where did this desire come from, and does it still deserve your energy now? The test is simple. but unsettling. Whose finish line is this, and why have I been running toward it? Goals appear one by one: title, salary, timeline, prestige, all familiar milestones that often arrive inherited, not examined. Make partner by 35 gets crossed out, replaced by a quieter goal: work that does not ruin Sunday night. 6 figures sounds impressive, but soft ambition asks a harder question: what is enough for a life you can stand? The corner office loses its shine when compared with time, presence, and a life you can actually inhabit. This is rarely discussed honestly because introspection is harder than overwork looks and far less rewarded in public. Grinding can occupy every waking hour, which means there's never space left to ask whether the grind fits. Exhaustion becomes a convenient shield. I would reflect, but right now I am just trying to survive this week. So the loop closes. The pain is constant, but also stable, because it postpones a harder confrontation with yourself. Soft ambition breaks that loop by asking you to sit in uncertainty instead of filling every open space with motion. It asks for the uncomfortable admission that some goals you carried for years were never the right targets at all. And work anxiety is not unique. The same performance exhaustion shows up in other parts of modern life too. Think about dating apps: swipe, judge, dismiss, repeat. It starts to look a lot like clearing Slack notifications. The same optimizing mind that manages a career can also manage a persona, a profile, and your marketable appeal. Soon the metrics take over: matches, messages, interviews, offers, followers, numbers everywhere pretending to tell you what matters. Underneath all of it is audience performance, choosing what appears impressive instead of what quietly feels true to you. In dating, people call this burnout or app fatigue. In careers, the same cycle often gets praised as ambition. A phone in one hand and a laptop in the other show two systems demanding the same thing: package yourself constantly. Both screens promise better options, better feedback, better outcomes, but neither can guarantee the feeling that any of it fits. So after naming the pattern, the next question is simple and practical. What do you actually do with this? Start smaller than your mind expects. One index card on your desk, one physical reminder, one place to interrupt autopilot. Write only 3 words on it, by hand, so the question feels direct enough to cut through momentum. Is this mine? Do this for 1 week, not forever. A short experiment feels manageable, and manageable is what makes honest noticing possible. Whenever career anxiety spikes, do not obey it immediately. Pause and treat that spike as information instead of truth. Maybe the trigger is a LinkedIn post that instantly makes your own progress feel smaller, slower, or somehow behind schedule. Maybe it is a colleague's promotion that stings more than expected, revealing a comparison you thought you had outgrown. Maybe it is Sunday night dread, arriving before Monday has even started, before any task has actually asked anything of you. In each moment, ask with precision: is this ambition, a real desire moving me forward, or is this loyalty to expectation? If it is ambition, the feeling usually has an inner pull to it, not just the buzz of being approved. Soft ambition does not ban effort. It simply saves your hardest work for desires that are truly, recognizably your own. So commitment is still welcome here, but only after you know the commitment belongs to you in the first place. If it is loyalty, notice the borrowed script gently. You do not need to shame yourself for having learned it. If you can, name the source: parent, manager, peers, industry myth, or even the younger self who once needed safety. Naming it creates distance. What felt like destiny starts to look more like pressure, and pressure can be questioned. Only then can you decide clearly whether that expectation still deserves your time, your health, and your attention. Pin the card somewhere visible in your real space, not an ideal one, because this practice belongs inside ordinary life. Because clarity usually begins quietly, at a desk, in a pause, in a modest room, long before any dramatic life change. Not a dramatic reinvention, just small pauses, before replying, before comparing, before agreeing, before calling every surge of stress ambition. You start catching anxiety as it happens, then asking whether the feeling points toward your desire or somebody else's script. That is the turning point. Urgency can feel powerful, but not every urgent feeling deserves your obedience or your life. Soft ambition stops sounding like a trend and starts feeling like permission. Choose effort on purpose, then build around it. Now return to that late office night. The scene is the same, but you can finally name what felt off. The half-empty coffee cup is still there. The scattered papers are still there, but they mean something different now. What once looked like dedication can also be a clue, evidence of effort spent serving goals you never fully chose. And now the lamp is off. Morning light enters through a window you did not even notice before. That change is not about quitting work, it is about seeing more clearly, less frantic proving, more honest direction. So hear the reframe again, calmly this time. Maybe what you call burnout is not burnout at all. It may be the exhaustion of carrying borrowed goals, inherited, absorbed, and pursued long before you ever examined them. That gives you a new lens for anxiety, comparison, and fatigue, not just how bad it feels, but whose goal it serves. The point is not to stop wanting things. The point is to become the author of what you want. Soft ambition means selective intensity. Work hard where you feel alive, and loosen your grip on what is merely expected. The relief is quiet, not rebellious. You are allowed to question the finish line before spending yourself reaching it. Then, let the screen go dark for a moment, so the idea can settle without another command telling you what to do. A title appears, Soft Ambition, the name for a feeling many people have lived before they had words for it. Below it, a smaller clue, unsaid rules, the hidden scripts that shaped your goals without asking permission. Just one soft piano note lands here, keeping the ending intimate, reflective, and free of any victory speech. Hold on, Black. You do not have burnout. You have borrowed goals, and now you know the difference.